Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 2 of the August daily draws. And as we start the weekend, let's see what message we get. I'll be taking the first card from the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, followed by an oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle. So let's use our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. We have the Fool, so it's all about adventure, it's about simplicity, it's about daring to take a few calculated risks, not reckless ones. We need to be sensible, but we don't need to be fearful. We don't need, and I think that matches what the reading we had yesterday about not letting fear steal our passion and our sense of adventure and purpose for creativity in our lives. When we had the Seven of Wands yesterday, didn't we? We had the Seven of Wands, and we had I forget what, or the Summer Games, which had, funny enough, a cliff with people jumping into the water from the cliff, taking a few risks, not being fearful. Obviously, being careful where you're doing it and the circumstance. But I think it's having that adventurous spirit, having fun, trying something new. And this too is echoed by the Fool card. It's about doing something fresh, doing something new, embracing new experiences, embracing life, and in its simplicity. And a lot of the time, people say that there's almost like an innocent sort of childlike quality to this, in the sense that children will do just that. They will go on an adventure of discovery, and and provided it's within a sort of a safe environment, they too can do fresh things. And yes, they may stumble, they may sort of like, have a bit of a bump, on the, particularly, they may graze a knee or something like that, but it's nothing overly serious that can't be soon dealt with. We've all been there, we've all done that, and it's just part of going through life, growing up as a child, experiences like that. It's not life threatening. You may get a few knocks and bumps, but it's all part of the adventure. It's all part of the experience. And it shouldn't stop you from doing things and embracing the experiences of life. And that's what the Fool card sort of represents too. See, at the end of last month, we had the Ace of Wands, which was about this inspiration, this passion, and then as we started this month, we had the Seven of Wands, which was about don't let fear or intimidation or other factors and other people steal away that passion and motivation that you've been inspired by. And this again, to me, echoes that we ought to go on this journey. It is like he's ready, he's on the journey, and he's going. And yes, there's a cliff there, but we don't know what's going to happen. And he's got his companion there. He's busy looking up. The companion's probably warning him of something. And yes, sometimes we need to look, and not to be too gazing upwards, admiring the scenery, that we don't see the pitfalls. We have to be careful of that, of course. That's why we have to listen to trustworthy companions, people in our lives, situations in our lives that we trust in, and even our own inner voice that will tell us any kind of guidance, that we have like a sort of like an intuitive sense that we need to be watchful where we're putting our feet, like he does here. But who knows? It could be like the Summer Games Oracle card that we had yesterday. There could be some water. He may just need to sort of leap off into the water and start swimming. We don't know. That's the thing. It's the unknown. And sometimes we, even though it may seem a bit perilous, sometimes we have to go into the unknown, be willing to go into the unknown. As long as we're not reckless, but we can't go the other way and be too overly cautious. And that's what this is saying. Don't be overly cautious. Be willing to try things. Be willing to do things on your journey and give it a go. Say yes to it. Find reasons to say yes rather than looking for reasons to say no. Quite often we're always talking ourselves out of things and finding reasons why we shouldn't do something. We never think about, well, what are the reasons for us actually doing it? And how can we, is there a way we can say yes to this? So be ready to venture forth, try new things, and see it as an adventure. Obviously, be on your guard and be vigilant as you're walking on that adventure, but don't be too fearful that it stops you from moving forward. And I think that is the message of the Fool today. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. And would you believe I've shuffled that and we have the same card as yesterday, Summer Games card, and it's the leaping off the cliff. So maybe this is saying that there is something to catch us when we leap off. We're leaping not into some perilous thing, but it's part of the leap of faith that we need to take. It's funny that we've got the cliff here and the two pictures and everything, and it's and it's relatively safe to jump into there. We've got other people already have done it, and so I've done it quite successfully, and we can do that too. So take that maybe that's a literal leap of faith, and maybe we need to take a metaphorical leap of faith. And it's funny that this card's come out again when we were talking about referring to it. And I gave the deck a good shuffle, and I shuffled it before pulling the card, and that's the card that came out. So I think it reinforces the message here and the message of yesterday. So let's take heed. It's obviously an important message for us. To have the same kind of message repeated, and certainly the same oracle card coming out 2 days in a row. So let's take heed of this message and do just that. Embrace every opportunity that we can and enjoy the adventure. Okay, so that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 3. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.